Hello friends, good morning. Myself Dr. Nandakumar Lakshman Kadam, Head Department of Accountancy, Jaisingpur College, Jaisingpur. Today we will discuss new topic, that is valuation of shares, which is included in the syllabus of BCom Second. The subject is corporate accounting. You know friends, every company has shares. There are two types of shares: equity shares and preference shares. A company may have only equity shares, or a company may have equity shares as well as preference shares. You know also the value is fixed for shares. Each share has its own value, that is called as face value. That is called as face value. The value which is fixed by the company at initial stage, that is called as face value. There is another one value. There is another one value that is called as market value. Face value is fixed by the company. Face value is fixed by the company, but the market value is determined by the market. The market value is fixed by the market, and it mainly depends upon the earning capacity of the company or dividend paying capacity of the company. So what is the earning, what is the dividend paying capacity is the most important factor which determines the value of share in the market. So there are two types of values, you may say, that is face value and market value. Face value determined by the company at initial stage. Market value which is prevailing in the market based upon the rate of dividend or rate of earning of the company. So as the value, market value changes, it is necessary to value the shares, though it is having a face value. Valuation of share is a system of determining the value of share of a business by estimating the value of equity shares. It means by valuing the equity shares, we value the business. We value the earning capacity of the business. So it is a system of valuing the business by way of or through valuing the equity shares. Okay? It is an evaluation of net worth of the company's ownership through separate methods and assumptions. It is a valuing the net worth of the company. Okay? Is that clear? Then, now we will discuss what is the need of a valuation of shares, or what are the circumstances when it becomes essential to value the shares. Okay? There are certain situations, certain circumstances when it becomes necessary to value the shares. For example, amalgamation of companies or absorption of companies, reconstruction of companies, or suppose shares are held by one partner and the partnership is dissolved, or the partner has died, or the partner is retired. At such time, to value his share in the partnership firm, it is necessary to value the shares. Or when shares given by one member of a private company, if he has sold his shares to the another member of the private company, at such time also it is necessary to value the shares. Besides, when a loan is advanced on the security of shares, when debentures are converted into shares or preference shares are converted into shares, when the company is nationalized, or when the company wants to issue the shares, these are the some circumstances when it becomes necessary to calculate the value of the share. What are the factors which affects on the valuation of the shares? What are the factors which affects the value of the shares? Mainly there are two factors. Which affects mostly on the valuation of the share. That one is dividend yield. What is the amount of dividend the company is paying? And second is the rate of earning, the rate of profit. These are the two. One is dividend and second is earning capacity of the company. These two factors mainly affects the valuation of the shares. Besides this, there are number of factors. Say for example, purpose of valuation of shares, the nature of the business or the nature of the company, okay, demand and supply of the shares in the market, the government policy. There are so many reasons that past performance of the company, potential growth of the company, the management of the company, financial position of the company. There are so many factors which affects the valuation of the shares. But mostly one is earning capacity and second is dividend paying capacity of the company. These are the two factors which affects mostly. Besides, these are number of examples, number of situations, number of circumstances when there is need of calculation of valuation of shares. There are three methods. There are three methods of valuation of shares. There are three methods of valuation of shares. One is net assets method. Second is yield value method. And third is fair value method. Net assets method may be termed as intrinsic value method or net assets method or net assets backing method or net assets basis method or real value method. The method may be titled by various names, but it is famous by name is net assets method or intrinsic value method, and second is yield value method, and next is fair value method. Now we will go for the first method, that is intrinsic value method or net assets method. How to calculate the net value of shares by using this method. Okay. First is, under this method, the net value of assets of the company is divided by the net assets of the company is divided by the number of shares to arrive at the value of shares. It means the value of net assets are divided by the number of shares so that we can get the value of the shares. So simple formula, value of share is equal to net assets divided by number of shares. Okay. And for the determination of net assets of the following points should be noted. When you are calculating the net assets, it is necessary to take into consideration the following points. First, the assets and liabilities are considered with its revised values or market values. Assets and liabilities, all assets as well as all liabilities are considered with its revised values or market values. Next, goodwill, if it is not given, we have to calculate the goodwill as per the instructions given, and it should be added to the net assets. Second, if there is non-trading assets, if there are some non-trading assets, then at such time also these non-trading assets with its revised value or market value, these assets should be added. Then the fictitious assets. The fictitious assets are not to be considered. Fictitious asset means preliminary expenses which are recorded under the miscellaneous expenditures and losses in the balance sheet. Preliminary expenses or discount on issue of debentures, discount on issue of shares. Suppose these items are given in the balance sheet, such items should not be considered. Okay. If the revised value of assets are not given, suppose if the revised values of assets are not given, then at such time book value of the asset should be treated as revised value. Book value of asset should be treated as revised value. Okay. Book value means what? The value given in the balance sheet. The value given in the balance sheet is the book value. It will be treated as revised value. Okay. Then, if there is provision for bad debts, if it is necessary to provide for bad debts, then such provision for bad debts should be deducted from the debtors. Okay. If there are some unrecorded assets or liabilities, it is mentioned in the problem. There are some unrecorded assets or liabilities. All these assets and all these liabilities should also be considered while calculating the net assets. One more thing that is most important, that preference share capital and preference share dividend. Preference share capital and preference share dividend if arrear, then these two items, preferential capital and preference dividend, both the items should be considered while calculating the net assets. So first we have to calculate net assets. In the intrinsic value, what is the formula? Net assets divided by number of shares. Net assets divided by number of shares. So first we have to calculate the net assets, and while calculating net assets, these points should be considered. What are the points? I will repeat. One, all the assets will be considered with revised values. All the liabilities will be considered with the revised values. Goodwill will be calculated. Non-trading assets and unrecorded assets and liabilities will also be considered. Fictitious assets not to be considered. Okay. And if there is RDD, reserve fund output, it should be deducted from the debtors, and preference capital and preference dividend is also to be considered to find out net assets. Okay. Then how to calculate the net assets? Very simple formula. Calculate the revised values of all assets, make the total, then calculate revised values of liabilities, make the total, and deduct the total of liabilities from the total of assets. You will get net assets. Okay, very simple formula. So assets, say for example goodwill with revised value, all fixed assets, all investments with market value, and all current assets. Okay, so goodwill, all intangible assets, all fixed assets, all investments, and all current assets with revised values or market values, make the total. Okay, then take the liabilities, preferential capital with arrears of dividend. Okay, then debentures, bank loan, all current liabilities with revised values, all these liabilities make the total. The total of liabilities will be deducted from the total of assets. You will get the value of net assets. Okay, very simple. You have used it in the first year BCom for calculation of a purchase price, so you know it how to calculate the net assets. Okay, then calculation of net assets. Net assets can be calculated by applying the formula. Another method, new method. Okay, suppose you have been not provided. Suppose you have not been provided the value of revised value of assets and liabilities. If you have not been provided the revised values of assets and liabilities, then you can use alternative formula, reverse formula. What is the formula? Net assets is equal to equity share capital plus reserve and surplus minus fictitious assets plus profit on the revaluation of assets and liabilities and less loss on revaluation of assets and liabilities. You will get the value of net assets. Okay. See again how to calculate the net assets by another formula, that equity share capital plus reserve surplus minus fictitious assets plus profit on revaluation of assets and liabilities minus loss on revaluation of assets and liabilities. You will get the value of net assets. If the value of net assets, value of or revised values of assets and liabilities are not given, then you can use this reverse formula. Then that I mentioned the next, that how to calculate value of share. Simple formula, net assets divided by number of equity shares. This is the first method, that is intrinsic value method. Okay, intrinsic value method, first you have to calculate net assets. Okay, and the value of net assets will be divided by number of equity shares. You will get the value of share. The next method is yield or market value method. Yield or market value method. It is also known as profit basis method or income basis method or earning capacity method. There are number of names of this method. The method may be titled as profit basis method, income basis method, earning capacity method, whatever name may be used, but this is yield value method, or you may say market value method. Yield is the effective rate of return on investments. Yield means what? Rate of return on investments. So whatever shareholders have been invested in the shares, how much they are getting, that is called as rate of earning or yield. So yield is the effective rate of return on investments. How much returns they are getting, shareholders, that is yield. It is also known as expected yield, rate of return, earning rate, normal rate, rate of general expectation, estimated rate of capitalization, rate of profit or rate of dividend. The name may be different. Names may be different. Okay. So it is called as yield. Finally, it is yield. The valuation depends upon the company's earning capacity and the normal rate of profit or dividend. It means here in the yield value method. It means here in the yield value method, two terms, two concepts, two figures are considered. One is rate of earning or rate of return. Okay, and second is normal rate. Normal rate means what? The normal rate of return means the rate of return prevailing in the market. Means the companies which are doing the similar type of business. The rate of earning of the companies which are doing the similar business in the market. What is the rate of earning of that companies? The average rate is called as normal rate of return. Normal rate of return means the companies which are doing the similar type of business. What is the rate of return of that all companies? If you calculate the average rate of returns of all the companies doing the similar business in the market, then this rate is called as normal rate of return. Okay. The valuation depends upon the earning capacity of that particular company and the normal rate of return. Okay. Here the profit means, what is the definition of the profit? Here the profit means profit available for equity dividend. Profit available for equity dividend. What is the amount of profit is available for equity shareholders? Means the profit after tax and interest and preference dividend. Profit after tax, after interest and after preference dividend. That is profit available for equity shareholders. This profit we will consider. Here profit means not net profit, total profit, but the profit which is calculated after deducting the tax, interest and preference dividend. Okay. So yield is equal to profit, or you may say earning after tax and preference dividend as well as interest divided by equity share capital into 100, then we will get the yield. Okay. So the profit may be called as average profit or maintainable profit or expected profit. The name may change. Okay. Then next, how to calculate the value of the share according to this method. That is yield value method or market value method. Okay. There are three ways of calculating the market value or yield value of share. First is on the basis of expected earnings. First is on the basis of expected earnings. There are two steps for calculation of this value of share under this method. There are two steps for calculation of value of share under this method on the basis of expected earnings. So first you have to calculate rate of earning. First you have to calculate the rate of earning. How to calculate earning? Profit after tax and preference dividend. That is profit available for equity shareholders divided by paid up equity share capital. Paid up value of equity share capital into 100. You will get the rate of earnings. Okay. Profit available for equity shareholders divided by paid up equity share capital into 100 is equal to rate of earning. This rate of earning will be utilized for calculation of value per share in the second step. So value per share or value of each share is equal to expected rate of earnings that we have calculated in the step first divided by normal rate of return into paid up value of per equity share. Paid up value of per equity share. I repeat, first you have to calculate rate of earning. How to calculate rate of earning? Profit available for equity shareholders divided by paid up equity share capital into 100. This rate of earning will be utilized for calculation of value of each share. So what is the formula? Value of each share, value per equity share is equal to rate of earning divided by normal rate into paid up value of each equity share. Paid up value of each equity share. In the first step, we have considered the total paid up capital, the amount of total paid up capital. But here, in this second step, we are considering the paid up value of per equity share. Okay? And normal rate you will be provided. You will be given in the problem the normal rate of return. This is the first method. The second way is on the basis of capitalized value. On the basis of capitalized value. Capitalized value means what? The value which is determined on the basis of earning capacity. The value of the capital, value of the net worth, value of capital employed, capitalized value, which is determined by using the rate of earning or rate of profit or rate of dividend. It is called as capitalized value. Here also you have to follow two steps. Here also you have to follow two steps for calculation of value of share. The first step is you have to first calculate capitalized value. You have to first calculate capitalized value. How to calculate? Average profit, or you may say maintainable profit, but it should be considered after tax. Okay? Average profit after tax and interest given, or profit available for equity shareholders divided by normal rate of return into 100. Okay? Very simple formula. Profit available for equity shareholders divided by normal rate of return into 100. You will get the capitalized value. This capitalized value will be used for calculation of value of each equity share. Simple formula. Value per share is equal to capitalized value divided by number of equity shares. Divided by number of equity shares. So I repeat again, on the basis of capitalized value, mostly in the problem you will be asked specifically that calculate the yield value of the share or market value of the share on the basis of capitalization method or on the basis of capitalized value. At such time you have to follow these two formulas. One is first calculate capitalized value. How to calculate capitalized value? Capitalized value is equal to profit available for equity shareholders divided by normal rate of return into 100. Okay? And value per share is equal to capitalized value divided by number of equity shares. Okay? Then third way is on the basis of normal rate and number of shares. Normal rate and number of shares, both are considered together. Here you have to take only one step. In one step only you can calculate the value of share. Okay? Profit available for dividend or profit available for equity shareholders divided by normal rate into number of equity shares into 100. Okay? See the formula. Profit available for equity shareholders or profit available for dividend divided by normal rate into number of equity shares into 100. Okay? This formula will be used and this formula will give you value per equity share. Okay. Now you may have question that which way should be followed for calculation of the yield value per share. Okay? Or market value per share. Students can use any way, any of these three ways according to the information given in the problem. You can use any formula, any way, either on the basis of earning capacity or on the basis of capitalized value or on the basis of normal rate and number of shares. Any of these three, any one of these three, you can use it considering the information given in the problem. Okay, is that clear how to calculate the value? Then the third method of calculation of value of share is fair value method. You know, fair value is the average of intrinsic value and yield value. Okay, so fair value method, which is the mean of intrinsic value method and yield value method. It is the arithmetic mean of intrinsic value as per intrinsic method and value as per yield value method. Just calculate these two values and find out the average. Okay, so fair value share is equal to intrinsic value plus yield value divided by 2. As this method considers both, that is net assets as well as earning capacity. So this method gives better indication of the value of the share. When any person wants to invest in shares, in equity shares, he considers mainly two items. He considers mainly 2 points. One is that what is the security for his investment? What is the security for his investment? Whether the company is able to pay, able to repay his investment. This is first thing. And second thing, by investing this amount, how much I will get in return. How much I will get in return. Okay, these 2 points. It means the security of the investment. In the case, whether the company is able to pay or able to repay the investment. Okay, this is first thing. That in any case, everyone wants not to be the bad debts, not to go to the bad debts. My investment should be get return. So this is the security value. When we calculate the net assets, it shows that there is amount available for a repayment of equity share capital. When we calculate net assets, it shows that the value is available for the repayment of the capital. That is called as security. Okay. So first the investor will see whether there is security for his investment or not. That will be satisfied by the intrinsic value method. And second point that will be considered by the investors, that how much I will get return. If I am investing some amount in the equity shares, I should get the returns. Then what is the rate of return that will be considered? That is, you can call it as income. Security and income from investment. These two are covered in the intrinsic value method and yield value method. Intrinsic value method considers the security for the investment, and yield value method considers the income from investments. And fair value method considers both. It gives equal value to the intrinsic value as well as market value. So fair value is the better indication of value of share. How to calculate intrinsic value plus yield value divided by 2. Okay, is that clear?